As I lunge forward, I jump deep into the ground, and behind the enemy in front of us, a wall of rock rises up.
Spinning around, I release a bunch of hook chains, grappling this scary-looking charm skeleton.
So I put my hand out and do a sweet, fireball.
Hey, welcome to a very special episode of Front Seat Gamer. I'm Nick. I'm here with Blake.
What's up?
No Severn this week. Instead, we have GGG's Rory Rackham.
Hi.
And his friend Isaac, last name unknown.
We'll keep it that way.
Okay, good. This doesn't count as an official episode in terms of numbers, also because I can't remember what episode we're up to.
30.
Nope. No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter. Because today Rory has brought in a game for us to play. It's basically Dungeons and Dragons, but with cards, which really simplifies character creation and keeping track of everything. And there's also a whole bunch of original mechanics and stuff as well. All the classes are original, I believe, or maybe.
We're playing original classes today. Anyway.
Sure.
We're not playing the generic ones.
Right.
Yes.
So we'll be playing this. Does it have a name?
We'll call it the Sharalvar Monastery. Is the mini campaign that we're playing today. The one shot.
Is there a name for the system?
The game itself is currently called Seven Gates.
Right.
That's a placeholder name.
Cool.
Just in case I come up with a better name. It's going to happen. It's been 2 years. It's going to happen any minute now.
Why 7 gates?
Because when you're building your class, it's constructed of ranged, melee, and defensive, and then also spring, summer, autumn, winter as the 4 different kinds of magic. And so you combine 2 of those things, or 2 of the same, to make your class. So there's 27 different classes in the base game. At least that's the plan. There's currently 18 of them.
Well, good luck with the rest. Cool. Well, I'm going to turn it over to Rory to explain the scenario, and then we'll go around and introduce who we are.
Okay. So, there's a monastery high in the mountains, far from the roads of the kingdoms and empires below. There, the monks seek physical enlightenment to pass into Vara, the realm of infinite wisdom. Rumors have been circling of late that the monastery lies abandoned, that the monks have achieved their goal and passed on to the realm of Vara. You 3 have been hired, chosen, or through sheer curiosity, have decided to travel to Sharuvar to uncover the secrets of the monastery, and perhaps even of Vara. Who are these 3 noble or semi-noble adventurers? Shall we start with Blake's character?
Okay. My name is Alabaster Grey. I'm my class is a Chaos Mage. And the reason for that is I come from a pretty decent family, and I got into a very prestigious wizard school. Mm-hmm. But I wasn't happy with their teachings there. I thought they were too slow. They were holding me back. So I went off and started experimenting with my own style of magic, and hence why I'm a chaos mage, and a lot of my spells require me to flip a coin and see if things go good or bad.
So your method of creating your own magic, it's more about you just kind of seeing what happens.
Yeah, I like
rather than actually having any plan.
I like to learn by doing rather than reading up a bunch of moldy old tombs.
Yeah.
Or tomes.
Both. Tomes in tombs.
But it was because of this I got kicked out of the school, and
I can't imagine why.
There may have been a fire. And now I'm just wandering around the world.
Okay. I am Wode Albar. I am a blade dancer. My background is mysterious, and I like to keep it that way. I will say that I come from a shadowy city, and my strengths are in the mysterious and secret.
Interesting. I won't ask you more.
My-
Isaac.
I'll also cover what my class does.
Oh, yes.
It's a movement-based class. In combat, a lot of my skills involve movement. I don't have very many ranged skills, which means I need to be able to follow enemies around and reposition them at will.
My character is Del Shardsong, and despite a effeminate last name, he's a very big, bulky, stone cold faced man, and his class is an earthquaker, and every step he makes that kind of, it's a pretty strong rumble. So he's definitely stout, and he'll be tanking, and he'll also involve his powers also do a lot of terrain effects, tile effects in this case, where he creates walls, or he does damage over a period of tiles, and and eventually totally reshaping the battlefield. And in terms of his association with the monastery, he's just in it to make bank. Someone's put a bounty on what the information that's in the monastery, and he's there to retrieve it.
So before we get started, I just want to give our listeners an idea of what we're looking at. Basically, there's a giant board in front of us, and the board is covered in tiles. Combat takes place on these tiles, and the tiles are, to some extent, malleable and random.
Mm-hmm.
We each also have 3 different decks. One is our life deck, which is how we keep track of our life totals. One of them is our skill deck, which is how we know what we can do in any given turn. And one of them is our, traits deck.
Yeah, to traits, talents.
Which is more like your traditional D&D character traits of like intelligence, and in this case we've got charm and subterfuge, and what's the third one?
Vigor.
Yeah,
and
4th one.
Intellect.
Yeah, that's right. And in any given scenario, we use this in a non-combat scenario to figure out if we can pass certain checks, right?
Yes, and in combat you can use it to do something that isn't on your cards, like breaking down a wall by hand or something like that.
Interesting.
Pushing someone off a cliff. If you don't have any push abilities, you can just shove them with a vigor check, for example.
Right, and we're using Lego miniatures to keep track of who we are on these tiles, which helps movement and attacking.
Yes. So the miniatures are the only part of the game that isn't done with cards.
Right.
Everything else, the life deck is a deck of life cards. And
also, Blake has a coin that he has to flip all the time.
Yes, there is a coin.
That's my coin.
You could flip a card, theoretically.
Yeah.
Coin's easier.
I believe Magic tried that unsuccessfully.
Well, I won't then. Okay, so let's see. Nope, let's not see. Here we go. Morning breaks just as the 3 of you crest a mountain ridge. You see your destination ensconced in the mountain just across the next valley. The sun's rays light the sloping roofs and earthen walls of the monastery. Normally, the 4 bells would be rung to greet the morning sun, but they lie silent. The path up to the monastery looks steep and treacherous, but it won't be the first you've had to brave over the past week of travelling. As you make your way down into the valley and up again, you come across a part of the path that has collapsed completely down into the valley below. You're going to need to find a way to get past it. What's the plan, guys?
Well, I don't think charm is going to work here.
You never know, but yes, it won't work. That's correct.
So what exactly are we seeing in front of us?
So you look forward, and it looks like there was a bridge here at some point, but it has been destroyed, or it has recently collapsed. There are pegs still embedded in the cliffside, and it's perhaps a 20-meter gap over to the far side.
And below is just cliff, water, ravine.
The valley itself, you would slide down the mountain and into the valley. You might survive.
Now,
You might survive.
What do we have on our person?
Anything that you would need for your traveling. So you have ropes and so on.
Okay.
Except you don't know if your ropes would be enough to get all the way across.
Sure.
It depends on your throwing arm, really. There isn't a lot of purchase on the far side. There are some wooden pegs which used to hold the bridge on the far side, but if the bridge collapsed, they may not be stable.
Okay. Do we see anybody else around?
Can you give me a intelligence check to see if you can spy with your
Quickly shuffle
non-elf
my
eyes?
My intelligence is not great, so let's find out.
So you get 2 chances.
2 chances. Okay. Chance number 1, subterfuge. That's not going to be helpful.
Not in this circumstance.
Just so our listeners know what's going on, I'm flipping cards off of my traits deck or my talents deck to see if I get the correct check.
And the amount of chances you get is set every challenge, pretty much by Rory.
Yes.
Second attempt, subterfuge.
Oh man,
You're too sneaky, not smart enough.
Spot anything of interest, or anyone of interest in the area.
I kneel at the edge there and just put my hand into the ground, just attuning myself to the earth there. Just seeing how stable it is as well. You know, maybe if I was to try and project a wall out horizontally.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm sizing it up and seeing whether I could do something like that.
You probably could. Let's give it a go. Difficulty 2 vigor check.
Okay. I decide to try my luck, and I plunge both hands into the ground, and as I do, I nail it in 1.
Got it in
Nice.
1. So, do you want to describe what it looks like as you make a bridge across?
So almost like I've reached into the ground. Somehow my hands have pierced the earth, and I almost like twist them. I'm almost twisting some sort of secret innards to like project the side of the cliff, I guess, out across horizontally over the ravine. It probably isn't 20 meters though.
It's probably not. No, you make it most of the way, but the last bit looks a little unstable.
Yeah.
You might need to make a bit of a jump to get across it if
Okay.
you're going for it.
I pause for a second and ignoring maybe any reactions that you guys are having. You perhaps don't know that my character is into that kind of stuff. But
I whisper her to Nick's character. I didn't know he was into that kind of stuff.
Me neither.
And I tentatively raise my hands out of the ground, and it looks like for the most part, the wall is staying.
Okay.
Maybe a few crumbling rocks at the very end of it.
So you take a few tentative steps onto it, and it looks like it's stable. There's just another small gap. You could possibly jump it. It's a reasonable chance.
That would require a check, right?
That would require a vigor check. Yes.
I look at that gap and I think I don't think I can make that gap.
Okay. So what's the plan?
It would. So are you across? Is he across?
No, I'm not across, but I'm also the heaviest, so maybe I should go last.
Okay. Who has the best chance of jumping that gap with a rope?
I am not feeling very vigorous.
Yeah, I feel like I could make the jump. And when on the other side, I could perhaps try again to make another wall from the other side.
Oh.
Maybe though, as the heaviest, I might break the end of it off as I'm running.
Perhaps someone with a sweet set of spells.
Yep. Okay, I'm thinking.
Test their talents.
Ooh, I'm thinking something simple like we've got rope. I should be able to fly across there,
Okay.
holding the rope, and then I can fasten it to something on the other side, and the
Sounds
others
good.
can easily get across.
Okay. In the flavor of your character, I'm going to say flip a coin to see if that is the spell that you do cast.
Yep. All right.
Heads for flying, tails for
Alright.
something else.
I've got a very serious look at my face. I'm standing there. Tails.
What happens when he flips tails? So you run and make a jump, preparing to take flight, and instead of the usual magical flight that you saw people training at in the yard, fire bursts from your feet and you feel yourself spiraling forward. You fall. You fly headfirst into the edge of the wall and barely manage to keep your grip as you smash hard into the cliff edge. Can you give me a vigor check to see if you're able to keep your grip?
Oh no! What's the
I-
difficulty?
Three
Subterfuge.
chances. 3 chances.
3 chances?
Yeah.
First one, subterfuge. Second one, charm.
Oh,
Okay. happen
That
to
was
have
a-
some hooks on my person.
You do.
That was,
ropes.
That was unsuccessful, just in case the listeners
Yes.
not aware.
Normally, these hooks and ropes are great in combat for repositioning enemies. Right now, I want to ensure that my friend doesn't fall to his doom.
Okay.
Because, it's always useful to have another body around. What do I need to check?
That'll be a subterfuge check to
Okay.
use your
How many
chains.
chances do I get?
You get 3.
3?
Yeah.
Number 1, charm. How you feeling? Are you charmed? Are you charmed into
I always
grabbing
thought
the
you were
wall?
charming.
Number 2, vigor. Oh, this is going very poorly. Number 3, intellect. Oh my gosh.
This could be an early end.
What are the odds?
So you hit the cliff wall as it slopes and starts skidding down.
Okay.
Which is your forte, but let's see if you can,
Oh,
let's see if you
help
can-
me! No, I shout, I've got everything under control, don't worry.
You said you wanted a 10-minute
I meant to do
podcast, right?
I say I don't believe him, and I launch off. I take a running jump and launch off and to the other side, I guess, and try and do I have to make a vigor check
You will.
too?
We'll say combine it, your vigor check into
Yeah.
doing this and keeping him from falling to his doom.
I'm pretty much just trying to jump to the side of the cliff and shape its form just enough to make a sort of a ledge for him to hold onto or fall into.
Okay, sounds
Um,
good.
It's I don't know, relatively tricky.
Difficulty 3 vigor.
Yeah, I'm used to this kind of thing, right?
Oh, by the way, you would have taken 2 damage from hitting the cliff wall hard, so you lose 2 life cards.
Ouch.
So
Do we reshuffle
Oh,
our traits in?
he's pulled out a trigger card from his life deck.
Okay, so let's cover trigger cards real quick. Trigger cards, when pulling cards from your life deck, if you come across a trigger card, instead of taking that damage, or perhaps in addition to taking that damage,
You get an extra effect.
yes.
Okay, mine is flip a coin. If the result is heads, you may draw a card, then play a card from your hand.
So this is most useful in combat, but
Yeah.
it will mean you get a free skill check.
Okay, cool.
Because as you hit the cliff, it triggered your magic.
All right. All part of my plan.
Yeah. I can,
All
it
right.
makes
So
sense.
if it's
It
heads,
checks out.
it's all good.
you did say you had this under control.
I do have this.
I
Under
did say I
control.
didn't believe you. We'll find out.
Tails.
So nothing happens. The magic sparks and explodes, and you continue to slide down the cliff. at great speed.
I definitely don't believe him. Okay, so at this point, I have just one card out already, vigor. And in terms of reshuffling, how do the rules
You
work?
can
there?
reshuffle at any time, or
Okay.
when I tell you to.
Okay.
So you might want to reshuffle
I'm
just to
gonna
increase your chances of vigorness.
Since I successfully got a vigor check last time.
So you can start to card count once you're later on in a skill challenge. Know what's going to come up next if you know your deck well.
But I think if it's a guaranteed draw, it doesn't count, does it?
Yeah, you
have to-
can't. If you get 2 chances and there's only 2 cards, you need to reshuffle first.
Yeah. All right. So it's a difficulty 3 vigor. First one, intellect, no luck. Second one, charm.
It's all down to this last
Everyone's trying to
card.
charm me here.
What are the chances? There's.
No! Oh my god!
Oh my
Sorry.
God.
We are failing at what we're best at.
We just have to jump.
I say.
So you make a
Wait.
jump across the cliff and then start sliding down after. You got to take 2 damage as well.
I take 2 damage, but maybe, perhaps, with those intellect draws, do I spot maybe another way around? There's a shortcut.
It looks like there is an old pathway embedded in the cliff face. You've taken a bit of a beating to find it, but it looks like before there was a bridge there was a backup set of steps that you can use to get up. But you're still either going to need to travel a very long way around to reach it, or jump off to meet them and hope they catch you, or you're going to make a dash for it and get across.
Are they currently sliding down? Are they plummeting to their doom?
They have hit a ledge.
Okay.
Hard, but they've hit the ledge.
Sure.
We're kind of not in immediate danger, but
Not in immediate danger.
I'm going to eyeball it. Maybe I can drop some ropes down to them.
It sounds like a good plan. That won't be too tricky for you to drop the ropes down. So
Okay.
you can just drop them down,
Sure.
and you'll need to find something to tie the rope to. But you can.
Wait, am I still holding a rope, by the way? Because I grabbed a rope.
Oh yeah, if
to
you're holding a
do
rope,
that.
then yeah, I guess you
Yeah.
have the other end of his rope, so you can.
Oh, I let that go. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I would have propped a boulder up for you to wrap it around.
Okay.
All right.
okay,
Yeah,
that's
I'm
good
gonna
then.
I'm gonna tie it to something rocky, some rocky
There we go.
outcropping. And you guys can either climb back up, or maybe use it to stabilize your climb up the ravine.
That sounds
All
good.
right. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Sounds like a very mundane task. We don't need a roll for that, do we?
No, that is compared to what you've been trying to do, quite simple. So you're able to climb your way up this rocky cliff face with its ancient steps embedded in it, and you pull yourself up to the far ledge, and now you can help the others get across, or help you get across by tying the rope to something, or both grabbing the rope on your end, and so you finally, with a bit of bruising, are able to get across to the far side of the ledge, and can now continue your trek up to the monastery. Okay.
They really should fix that bridge. What are we paying taxes for anyway?
And I think that will be the last we speak of this.
Never mentioned the bridge incident again.
What bridge isn't it? No bridge isn't happened.
So, as you finally approach the monastery, you see that there is an old man kneeling in front of it. It looks like he's got his eyes closed and he's mumbling something under his breath.
Mm-hmm.
And as you approach, his eyes snap open, and you can see that they're clouded and white. And he says, "Who goes there? Who comes to the monastery?"
I say it is I, Alabaster Grey.
Who? should I?
Come on, man, Alabaster Grey. I'm well known. I think I should be.
I've heard of him.
Oh well, if you've heard of him, then
I blew up half a school once.
well.
Oh,
in
that
case,
Alabaster Grey.
I'm afraid you're going to have to go through the trials, my trials, to prove that you're worthy to enter the monastery. He attempts to stand up and sort of stumbles about and pulls himself up on a stick and he sort of waves it around, trying to find where you are.
Oh.
I put my hand out to, touch the stick.
Touch the stick, and he
Hold it
shakes
firmly.
it and says, "Greetings. So, are you ready for the first trial to prove that you're..." He lets off a gigantic yawn. Sorry. Are you ready for the trial to prove that you are worthy?
I'm born ready.
Born ready. Okay. The first question you must answer: are you a good person?
Yes.
You may enter the monastery.
Oh.
You have passed the trials.
I fist pump
And
silently.
Are these guys with you?
They're both with me.
Then you also may enter the monastery. You have passed the
Oh,
trials.
that's a relief.
Do you have any food on you, by the way?
No. Sorry, man.
I have a half a roll.
May I have the half a roll? I've been out here for 2 weeks. They won't let me in.
You can't.
Oh.
I'm hungry
what?
right now.
Why won't they let you in?
I've been knocking on the door for ages. I went out to get some berries and ate the berries and came back, and they haven't let me in ever since. I've been quiet for the past couple of weeks.
I think maybe you don't live at the monastery.
I-
You might just be a crazy old man.
I've got the robes. I totally am.
Where did you get these robes from?
I've been living in this monastery.
Okay, sure.
Mostly living in this monastery for the past.
Living around this
40
monastery?
years.
Is there something you can tell us about this monastery? Anything we should know?
Inside, you will find monks and some more stuff. They've got. I can't see very well, especially after the berries.
Right.
So I
I
can't
was
tell you
wondering.
too much about it.
I don't think you've ever been in there.
I went in there once. I mean, I've been in there all the time. It's like a home away from home.
I have a different theory. I think that his monk friends are perhaps no longer in there, or something's happened to them.
That explains why they haven't even returned my calling out to them.
Yes.
On their monk phone.
How long ago was this when was the last time you saw them? Or, heard them?
It was 2 weeks ago that I came back from my berry scavenging. And before that, I guess it was like I'd been scavenging for a day. The days blend together when you're berry scavenging.
As they, yeah.
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
How I've heard of the monks and your quest for getting in touch with Vara. How was that quest going before your berry expedition?
They never really clued me in on that sort of stuff. Back in the day, I used to be well into opening the gate to Vara, but these days, not so much.
Okay. I think this guy's the dud, but Yeah, have some stale bread, and I give him a rock.
Delicious. He crunches down on it.
Breaking his remaining teeth.
These gums aren't what they used to be, but it's still tasty. So you leave him chomping away.
Crushed it a little bit for him.
He softened it up.
Let's move on.
So you get to the monastery doors. They're large and imposing, and it looks like they might be sealed shut.
I knock. Why
Such
not?
a good idea.
There's you knock hard on the door, or just gently tap.
Solidly enough so it's not mistaken for wind or an animal, not so loudly that it sounds angry.
So your knocks are greeted by a moment of silence, but then you can hear sort of some shuffling on the other side, but there's no immediate response. But you hear as if there's something out there.
Well,
I'll knock again.
You knock again, and a voice comes from the other side, a young child's voice. Hello? Is anyone out there?
Yes. We 3 adventurers seek your aid.
Oh, thank goodness. Come on in. You hear a wooden bolt unlock. Yeah,
I was fully going to explode that door. That was so great.
You're ready to burn the door
Yeah.
down.
I was ready to go falling down a chasm again.
I just remembered the whole bridge incident and thought, not again. Let's keep it simple.
So you slide the bolt off the door. No, the child slides the bolt from the door, and the door creaks open, and a small bald child's head pokes his head around. It looks like he's a very young monk, and he's like, "Thank goodness you're here. I was wondering if anyone would come."
Wasn't there old blind Joe at the back knocking for weeks?
Oh yeah, but he's useless. He's not going to be any good against these things.
Okay.
What things?
Well, things. Okay.
I don't even know what it was, but that some things maybe charged into the monastery and just started hurting everyone left and right. And they disappeared further into the monastery, and I haven't seen or heard from any of them in weeks.
How did you escape?
I just hid under one of the beds.
Okay. What do they look like?
I didn't see. I ran away as soon as I heard the screaming start. I was already.
What did they hear? What did they sound like?
They sounded monstrous, like gnashing teeth and scraping claws, and the screaming. There was so much screaming and praying, but it didn't do them any good. Yeah. Thanks for bringing that memory back up again. I appreciate it.
Flashbacks.
Maybe we should give him a rock. He looks hungry.
I am pretty hungry.
I'm like slowly crushing up a little rock. Stale bread.
I heard there's some berries outside that will make you go blind.
I'm not having that crazy old man's berries.
That's probably good.
My name is Yaizir. What are your names?
I am Woad Albert.
That's an interesting name.
Thank you. I was given to me.
By his parents.
Your parents must have been very
Hey man, I
happy
didn't
people.
choose it.
What are your names?
Just call me Dal.
Hi, Dal.
I'm Alabaster Grey. You might have heard of me.
I've
Blew up half a school.
I haven't, but I don't get out much.
Oh, that's probably why.
Where's all your hair gone, little child?
It's traditional for us to shave our heads.
Oh yeah. I know. I knew that.
I don't know if that's offensive or not. I'll let it slide this time.
Why do you shave your heads?
It's so that we don't have annoying hair that gets in the way
fair.
all
Okay.
the time.
Seems like a pretty...
What do we see around us then?
So, the courtyard itself, it looks like a fight has taken place there, but there's what looks like dried blood, but there's no sign of any bodies lying around. On the left and right, there are small doors that look like what they lead to dormitories. It looks like this is where the child was hiding. And there are scraps of paper that was covering bread. It looks like the kid has been eating food from the stores that were in this courtyard. Ahead of you is a large metal door which leads further into the monastery, you can only assume, seeing as looks like just the front courtyard dormitory.
So is this middle door barred or locked, or?
You can't tell from here, but there's no bar across it.
Okay.
You can't. Yeah.
You want to check the dormitories?
Yeah.
I feel like I want to look around for anything that could be of use,
Cool.
knowing that there's potentially foes on the other side of that door,
Sure.
and also looking for clues as to what exactly we're facing.
Well, while you guys check the dormitories or for clues, I'll check the door. I'm not going to push it open just yet, but I'll go to it and test it and also listen through any keyhole or whatever.
Okay, that sounds good. So, do you guys want to give me checks that are appropriate for how you'll be looking around? Subterfuge if you're going to be looking for hidden stuff.
I'm gonna be looking
if
for
you're
hidden
going to be
stuff.
trying to point out.
How many checks am I doing here?
This will be difficulty 2. You get 2 chances.
Boom.
Wow.
Subterfuge.
Easy.
All right, I'll be using my intellect to see if I can find any sort of clues or anything. Oh my god. Subterfuge. Oh, how many checks do I get?
2.
Charm.
Yeah.
So I don't see anything.
Really charmed the heck out of that search.
I found some beds, guys.
Were they charmed?
So, while you're looking around, you come across. You can sort of figure out that there is a different part of the dormitory, which is the upper part, which looks like it's sealed off, but is now open. Looks like the kid has opened the door, and inside is sort of the higher up monks. Looks like where they keep their stuff. And you come across a monk's robe that looks to be enchanted. It's got runes along the hem, and you come across a swift cloth robe, which you can wear over top of your armor.
So now I have Swift Cloth Robe, which says after turn order is shuffled, advance your turn by 2, which is going to be useful in combat for getting the jump on enemies.
That is correct.
Cool. So in this case, what he's just received is an actual another card, and this card has actually
It's upgraded my armor, which originally was a Stalker's Cloak, which did nothing. Useless. I might as well be naked. In fact, that can wait.
the children.
Not while the children are here.
My fighting style. Just gonna take a photo of that because it's cool.
Blake is gonna Instagram it.
Yes.
Apparently.
I'll put it on our Facebook and stuff.
Yes. Facebook.com/FrontSeatGamer to see photos of 7 Gates.
Awesome.
Yes. Okay, so and that's all you come across.
I'm gonna return to the door and be like, check out my sweet Swift Cloth robe.
It suits you.
Alright, I return and say I didn't find anything. There's nothing in there.
There was probably nothing in there. It's fine.
There's probably nothing in there.
I'm gonna say, touch this. Is this velour? It feels like velour.
It feels like the. Okay, so
These monks were pretty well off.
You peek through the little middle door. It looks like it is not barred, and you're able to look through. And on the on the other side is a bridge across.
Oh no, not another bridge!
A mortal enemy.
And on the far side, there looks like a giant statue of a monk. Who's got his hands clasped around a spear, and on 2 torches light either side of him, which still seem to be aflame. You can see the mountain valley on either sides of the bridge, and on the far side there's another large metal door.
Okay. So I say, child, have you gone through this door for the last 2 weeks?
He shakes his head and says, no, the guardians won't let anyone past.
Are these guardians the creatures that... Or are these part of the rules?
No, they're part of the rules. When the monks sounded the alarm, the guardians started their vigil, and
Okay, what are the guardians?
they're spirits that take many forms in order to. They possess physical objects in order to protect the monastery.
Right.
Okay.
Knowing that and looking at that statue with a spear.
I say we take the kid with us. I mean, he's like a monk in training. Having him with us might...
Right.
Yeah.
Meat shield, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
All that and that.
A spiritual shield, and then
Yeah.
if that falls.
So what are you going to say to the kid then?
I'm going to say, hey, little... I get down on my knees. Hey, little buddy.
Your most fatherly voice.
Yeah. Hey, little guy. I got some cheese bread in my bag for you if you want to come with us and and help us across this bridge and past this guardian.
Can you give me difficulty 3 charm to see if you can convince him?
Do I shuffle those back
You
in?
should shuffle them
Okay.
because you've already got a
'Cause I've
charm
already
card
used
sitting out there. Yeah, you've already drawn charm for all the things you don't need charm for.
Now I'll
Really
draw
charmed
nothing
that
but
bed search.
intellect.
What could go wrong?
And a tussle is non-existent hair and subterfuge.
That's 1 charm.
Charm.
Okay.
Nice.
Hey.
The kid is like, I do like cheese bread.
Yeah.
That would be lovely.
All right.
I don't know what cheese bread is.
It's just rocks.
Everything's just rock.
Alright, I'm actually going to take out a loaf of cheese bread and cut it in half and give him 1/2.
Whoa. He scoops it up and just starts gnawing away at it, but starts pacing behind you as he does. So
Oh, I want him ahead. I want him in front.
Okay.
I open the door for him.
Are you going to open the door?
I'll open the door. Yeah.
He's like, wait, you want me to go first?
Yeah, you get.
We'll be
Come on,
right
buddy.
behind you.
The guardians might let me through, because I'm a monk.
You're a monk. And you got cheese bread.
So I'm going to set up the battlefield now, because the
So
kid's about to get slaughtered.
Pretty
No,
sure
it's
we're gonna
fine.
make it.
So
Totally fine. Nothing's gonna happen.
I happen to have a miniature for the statue, unrelated to any events that may
So
transpire.
I'm going to describe what we're looking at right now. It's a grid of squares. There's 2 by 3, with then a single square connected to another 2 by 3 grid.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like there's a little 1 square bridge across a chasm, and there's even 2 chasm tiles that say you take 10 damage and are removed from the encounter.
Oh, wow.
So we don't want to touch that, although maybe we can use that to our advantage.
Possibly.
There is a vigor check you can use to survive, to skip falling into the chasm by if you succeed, but it's a tough call. So risky.
Yeah.
Do you want a miniature for the little kid? Is he at all important? Or?
Yeah, I'll just use this disembodied pair of legs to be the kid.
Let's hope it doesn't
the kid-
foretell his fate.
The kid steps forward and the statue remains motionless, and he walks carefully and steps another step forward, and then until he's standing right in front of the statue, and he, out of curiosity, just pokes the statue, but it doesn't move. And so he's like, "Oh, guys, it's fine," and runs out to the side of the statue and through a door into the monastery.
Okay, another chasm. I take a step onto the bridge.
So
You happy with the configuration? I'll
Yeah,
take center
that's
stage.
I'm okay with that.
So the 2 torches on either side of the statue burst into life. They fire and burst out of them and then hits the ground, taking the form of these humanoid warriors with 2 large flaming scimitars. They laugh. Ha ha ha! You thought it was the statue, but it is us, the torches, that shall defend this bridge.
Dal, what are you doing?
We're with the
boy.
monk kid.
I can sense that you are not pure in heart, and you must be destroyed.
Damn it, there was half a cheese bread.
What a waste of half a
Yeah.
cheese bread.
But Blind Joe said we were good. He okayed us.
Oh, yeah, Blind Joe, easy.
That old guy. He's an idiot. Behind you, you hear a
Why
voice.
does everyone hate Blind Joe so much? Was his name even Joe?
No.
From the door behind you, you hear this voice on the other side of the door. Aww.
Aw.
It sounds like Blind Joe is behind the door. So, it's time to enter combat. So, I'm going to take your guys' combat cards, and I'm going to take the card of the Fiery Watch Spirit, and I'm going to shuffle them together. And whatever order I put out these cards in is going to be the order that combat starts in.
Yep.
So, we'll move from left to right.
However, my swift cloth comes in handy here, right?
It does, yes.
So I would normally be going dead last,
In this case,
But you get to move 2 spaces forward.
That's very good.
which puts me second.
right behind me.
Yep.
Cool. And so we took 2 damage earlier from the chasm, which we don't actually know. No, we took 2 damage from a mysterious event that happened that no one's
Yeah.
going to talk about.
I don't recall any of this.
We're still damaged, aren't we?
You're still damaged from that. Usually you'd have a chance to heal between combat, but that was the penalty of falling down the cliff.
And of note, Alabaster's triggered
his
life-based skill was used, so he might be in trouble.
Yeah, if he gets hit, then he doesn't have any special tricks up his sleeve. Okay, let's begin combat with the Earthquaker.
Okay, we'll draw 3 cards from our skills,
Yep.
abilities.
All of you just draw your 3 cards now, so you can start planning ahead.
Well, in my hand, I actually have 2 chasm abilities, which I'm not sure whether we need more chasms, do we? I'm our worst enemy.
You have no range stuff, right?
No, actually, in fact, this is range. This
Okay.
most of my stuff is range 1, so I would be able to hit these 2, which are
Right.
pretty much diagonally from me. And but I mean, in this case, I can actually I say deal. Okay, so I'll just want a rules clarification actually.
Yes.
So I can, with my chasm ability, I can deal 4 damage to all foes on a tile at range 1, and then repeat this on an adjacent tile at range 2, and then an adjacent tile at range 3. So
That is correct.
The shape of that doesn't matter, or it does matter?
It doesn't matter. So, but it is generally leading away from you because it's
Sure.
at range 1. So it needs to be adjacent. So you can. It's sort of like you're creating a crack in the ground that travels forward.
Yeah, sure.
Travels away from you.
So in this case, could I kind of create the crack here to here? Or is that a bit-
Not on that angle. You would
No.
need to be standing. You would need to be standing here, and then
I
you
see,
can
I
do
see,
that.
I see. Yeah, okay.
So you
So
can
it's
hit
good.
one of them.
All right. Well, I'll hit the one on the right because he's, I guess, most directly standing in the way of the door that the boy ran into.
Mhm.
So I'll at the very edge of the bridge, right as it connects, I suppose. Take another risk. And I kind of lunge forward right to the very, very edge of the bridge, so I'm not on it before, and I have no weapons. My fists are calloused and kind of grey. They look almost rocky, I suppose. But I plunge them both into the ground, and a chasm rips up in the stone. Is it? I guess of the monastery, and I deal 4 damage to the fiery watch spirit.
Okay, he takes 4 damage, and that does not set off any trigger lifeguards.
Okay, cool. And I guess the damage continues on behind them, but not that that really affects anything.
You can take out the door if you
The
want.
door smashes.
You can destroy the statue if you just want to
Ooh.
wreck some property.
Yeah, let's do this. I mean, I thought it was the statue. Let's crack the statue out.
Okay, see, it cracks the statue's leg. Now it has a crack up one of its legs. Which sounds bad? No, it's fine.
Okay,
that's your turn up.
That's my
Unless
turn.
you're going to make a move.
Oh,
Because you are on the... Or did you move to get onto the bridge, right?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. That kind of triggered them. I'm not sure what that.
Oh, yes. No, that won't be your... Yeah, so you can go ahead and move. If you
Okay.
like.
Well, I'll move to be in the middle. I'll make myself a daunting target.
Okay. Next up, we have World Elba, the Blade Dancer.
So I'm going to... I want to get within melee range, and currently none of my moves allow this.
Yes, so you can give up your attack action to get an extra move if you want to move forward twice.
I don't necessarily want to do that quite yet. I know
Okay.
I want to be in melee range at some point, but for now I'm going to move forward 1 square, and then I happen to have my ultimate ability.
Oh, yes.
Oh, wow.
Now, having moved closer, these torch monsters are casting a long shadow behind me, and I'm going to use my ultimate ability, Torn Shadow. I raise my blades in the air and then strike down, and the shadow behind me vanishes and appears below the torch monster.
Oh, wow.
Oh, nice.
And this says this: you can take an extra move action each turn. Whenever you move this effect to a different tile and deal 3 damage to foes on that tile.
Cool.
Awesome.
So it's almost like an extra attacker. It's Peter Pan's shadow.
Exactly.
Cool.
So I don't know if that works this turn since I've already moved.
It
Perhaps
won't this turn.
Should've
You could have
waited.
saved your move, but
Whoops.
let's
Now
know
I
that for
know.
next time. Yes. Okay. Next up, we have the Fiery Watchers. So they're going to draw 2 cards from their deck, and let's see what they do. Okay, so one is going to use Wildfire on the creature standing very close to him, this weird rocky guy. So he's going to deal 1 damage to you, and he's going to apply a status to you. So you can only have 1 status on you at once, and so now you've got Wildfire. And at the start of your turn, you'll take damage, and then the fire will spread to any allies near you. So if
Okay.
you're standing next to others, it'll spread. However, if there's no one standing near you, then it's destroyed.
Okay.
So you don't want to be grouped together while this is
Right,
in the
okay.
battlefield. The other one is going to draw another card, and he's going to use Ash Burst, dealing 2 damage to all foes and allies on a tile at range 1.
Okay.
Luckily, you're not near any of his allies, and you're in range of him.
Luckily
so
for him, though.
Luckily for him, yes. So he's going to do 2 damage to you,
Okay.
and then he's going to move on to your tile.
So,
And he-
so actually, you got one damage earlier. So that's
Mhm.
that one, and then 2 damage from him now.
Yep.
All right, and my life is slowly going away, but it's haven't triggered any effects.
Okay. The 2 fire things laugh and say, I love our job some days. Getting to mess these
These are
obviously villainous individuals up.
Very sassy, fiery watchers.
They enjoy their job. They take pleasure in what they do.
You guys getting paid for this?
These watchers seem pretty intelligent. Am I able to say, like, how can we prove that we're worthy then?
You could see if you can convince them, yeah. That'll be a charm thing to get them to stop fighting for a second and see if you can...
And I reshuffle these back in, do I?
if you want, you've used up some of your charm,
Yeah.
so it's probably a good idea
Right,
to
I'm gonna
reshuffle
give-
your skill
I'm gonna
deck.
give that a go.
Okay.
So how do we prove ourselves? You're so sure that we're evil
You,
or not worthy.
yeah. Let's
So-
see if you can convince them with your empowering words.
Subterfuge?
So, 3 chances.
Charm.
Yeah, you got it.
Charming.
They say, you're right. We did just jump to conclusions a little.
Yeah, we
Ah.
helped out that kid. Didn't you see me give that cheese bread to that kid?
Half a cheese bread.
From our
Just
point of
throwing
view,
that
it did kind of look like you were using it as bait, but let's give you the benefit of the doubt. I mean, we're in a monastery. I suppose we should act monastic. Is that a word? It's a word now. So they confer for a moment.
It's because our heads aren't shaved.
Yeah. No, it's the hair racist.
Are you going to say this out loud?
No, I.
Okay. Well, that would have been the trial if you had said it.
Uh-oh.
Oh, cool.
They say, let's say that we're actually evil and we're just being bound by these monks because we like burning people, and that's kind of a good job for someone like us to burn intruders. I'm going to go into that room and burn that kid alive if one of you doesn't jump down that chasm there and prove your goodness.
We're not such a fan of that kid.
Yeah, go for it.
Are you gonna? What is your response? I assume you guys saying go for it.
I kind of shrugged.
He was of no real use to me.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, see if he's eaten all that cheese bread and can get it back. Don't burn the cheese bread.
They confer for a moment and say, "No, we're gonna kill you. You guys are obviously evil."
Dang it! How did he know?
So, you get to still act during your turn,
All right.
seeing as that was just talking.
Yeah. So the thing is, I can't hit anything in range, so
Okay.
I can only move 1 square.
You can give up your attack action to move again if you want to move
Oh,
a
can
little
I?
closer. Or you could keep your distance.
I'm actually okay.
I don't think. Yeah, you don't want to move that bridge because then the fire's going to spread to you.
Yeah.
burning.
Dang. I was
Yeah.
hoping I could convince you to get the fire
Don't
spreading
listen
to
to
you.
this guy. He hasn't got our interests at heart. Did you see him before? So luckily.
Yeah, I'm gonna. That's my turn then.
All right. Cool.
Okay.
You move forward. Cool.
Okay, the turn loops around and it's back to...
Oh wait, hold on. You said previously you said when diagonal moves like this, you have to move there and there, right?
Oh yeah.
It's only if there's a actual wall blocking
Oh,
the
okay.
way.
So a
yeah.
chasm is not a wall.
Yeah, you can jump over the
All
gap
right, cool.
there. You're fine. Okay, it's Dalchard Song's move.
Okay, cool.
We're back
So-
to the second round of combat.
Right. So I have the status effect still on me. This wildfire.
Mm-hmm.
So at the start of this turn, I take 2 damage.
Yep.
Again, so I'm taking a lot of punishment. Take another 2 damage. Oh, and I've popped my life skill. When drawn, ignore the rest of the damage.
Which is a bit late,
Which
because it was
is-
the last card you drew.
Yeah,
And
but I do gain 3 shield.
Yep.
So I now have kind of
Oh,
like
nice.
3 temporary hit points to.
Yeah,
to-
so shields, because you don't normally recover life
Mm.
in the middle of combat, shields are temporary life points
yeah.
that vanish at the end of combat, right?
That is correct.
Yeah. Okay, and then it says apply status to one of my allies without a status in range 1.
But there are no allies.
So does that mean this discards?
This is discarded.
Okay.
Yes. So the wildfire that the
Dissipates.
fire
Good
elemental had
stuff.
cast on you dissipates.
Cool, and I draw a card.
You draw
Start
a
my
card
turn.
at the start of your turn.
Cool.
Yes.
First time I'm actually drawing a card. Okay. Alright, so I have this ability to create walls, as you guys have seen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just wondering whether this is going to be a useful place to put a wall right now. I've got a guy on me.
Could you wall there and then block him off?
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, from me at least. Yeah, that could save some. Alright. So this is in range 1. Does that mean I can do it in melee as well? Like on a melee tile that I'm on?
Yes.
Or, yeah?
Yes.
Okay,
It's
cool.
within range 1.
Okay, cool.
So go ahead.
Alright, well I'm gonna this time I jump into the air and this time I'm using my my legs as the propulsion for this effect. And I use Tectonic Smash in a wall right next to me, and right next to the guy in front of me, I guess. Raises up out of the monastery stone. This stone is getting ravaged at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And so actually 4 damage is actually on. Oh, I can do this, can't I? So I can put it.
Yes, you put the tile onto. You put your card onto the tile with the arrow facing the direction you want the ball to be on.
I'm actually going to do it on my side. So as the wall goes up, the 4 damage hits the guy right next to me.
Okay.
The wall kind of propels him in the air momentarily, and he takes 4 damage, and now there's a wall right next to me.
Okay. He shouts, "No, my buddy!" He doesn't shout that. That's a silly thing to shout. He shouts something much cooler.
Something much snarkier.
Yeah. It is now Woad Albar's move. There's now a wall separating these two. So
Interesting. Now I have 2 moves this turn because I used my ultimate, correct?
that is correct.
But is that wall blocking my access to that square?
It is blocking your access to this square here. Yes.
Okay.
Oh no.
That,
What have I done?
however, I have a shadow on that square.
You do.
Can a shadow move
The shadow can move. Yes.
through that wall?
It will, but because it's a tile... Oh, it can't because there's the tile effect on that tile. So that wall tile effect is preventing your tile effect, your shadow,
Well,
from
dang.
moving.
Oh, right.
What you could do is, if you move him
Yes,
twice...
I see what's happening.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm going to move onto the bridge,
Mm-hmm.
and in doing so, my torn shadow is going to move towards the doorway where the little boy ran through.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to move into melee range of the other burning guardian dude.
Who's standing next to
Yep.
the Earthquaker.
Next to Dal. So now on the same, there's now 3 dudes on that square, and I'm going to move my shadow back onto the square it was just at, dealing 3 damage to the burning watcher who was there.
Cool.
So your shadow darts back and forth, slicing
Yes.
away at the fire.
And I now want to
That's
use my hooked chains attack.
Okay.
I release 2 chains. One goes onto Dal, and one goes onto the burning watcher in the same square.
Cool.
And I'm going to move Dal across one square this way, out of harm's way, and the burning watcher directly into the chasm.
Oh, very nice.
Okay,
Brilliant.
the Watcher is going to try and make a check to see if he can stop himself falling out and down into the chasm. Same as you guys would get, except he only gets 1 chance, because he's not as cool as you
So
guys.
it's 1 in 4, is it?
He's got a 1 in 4 chance
Okay.
of getting a move to save himself from falling into the chasm. If he gets a vigor check, he survives. But he does not, and so one of the fire elementals screams as he loses his footing,
man.
which you would think him being made of fire would help, but looks like he needed to stand on stuff as he falls into the chasm, and he takes 10 damage and is removed from
Nice.
combat.
My character says, "Fiery, watch this."
Oh, what?
Yeah, boy.
Oh.
That was a sick burn.
Oh!
No more.
His after a few seconds, his ghostly spirit comes up out of the chasm, and
Uh-oh.
it's like, I gotta use the statue after all. He dives into the
no.
body of the statue. However, the statue has already had its leg shattered while it was stationary.
Good call.
So the statue limps down from its pedestal. It's like, okay,
Take two, boys. And now the statue has entered the initiative. We're going to reshuffle initiative because that whole ordeal really.
Okay.
Everyone's confused.
Everyone's confused.
So much movement.
And with adding someone new to the initiative, the guy now has a new set of attacks and a new health bar. Okay. First up, we will have the Fiery Watch Spirit, then Alabaster Grey, then Woad Albar, then the Living Statue, and finally Dal Shadsong is now at the end of combat.
Now I have a Swift Cloth.
Yes,
Puts
so
me
the Swift-
first.
Yes,
That's great.
That's awesome.
getting your no monies.
I
Your
wish I had looked around harder and found that.
Woad is really hogging this combat turn right now, so I get to draw another card.
Yep.
Ooh, interesting. How heavy is this statue? It's looking pretty heavy.
He's pretty heavy, yes.
Okay, well, he's right on me. I'm in the same square as him, and he's holding a giant spear, and I am terrified. But he looks slow enough that I think I can maybe outmaneuver him.
Okay.
So I'm going to use my Agile Maneuver, which deals 4 damage to a foe in melee, and then moves myself and the foe.
Okay.
Yeah,
you won't be able to move him because he's as hard as rock, but you deal 4 damage to him.
And I'm going to move myself back a square, which moves the shadow.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm going to move myself again back a square, which moves the shadow back under the guardian,
Which
dealing
is going to deal another 3 damage
3
to him.
damage. And I think I still have one more move left.
That is correct.
Because that first move was part of my attack. So I'm going to move across and move the shadow one more time.
So as you dash away, your shadow darts back and forth, slicing away at the flame.
Yes.
Which is shouting and screaming at this point, saying, "What's going on behind the wall?" It's now his move, so let's see what he's got up his sleeves. Okay, so he is going to say, "That's it. I'm gonna end this thing," and he places an explosive bomb on the bridge tile. So this can't be replaced, and at the start of his next turn, it'll deal 5 damage to all foes and allies in range 1 of that tile.
Oh my
So that's going to be devastating for anyone who's caught too close to it.
That's tough.
And then he laughs maniacally and says, "This is going to be the end of you all! I hope my friend's still not out there. I heard him screaming. He's probably long gone now." And that is his move. It is now Alabaster Grey, the Chaos Mage's turn.
I think I have a solution for this bomb, so maybe don't worry about it till my turn.
Really? I was planning to move right where that bomb is.
Yes,
Does that affect your plan at all?
No, that'll be fine.
All right.
Right? If yeah.
Okay, I'm going to move onto the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to cast Life Spark, which deals 3 damage to a foe in range 1 of you, and also gives an ally in range 1 3 shield.
Oh,
Okay. So are you going to go after the statue or the
So
fire
I'm going to
spirit?
go after the statue. I'm going to snap my fingers a few times because it's get the spark going.
It's a jazzy spark.
Yeah,
It's got some jazz to it.
And then the air around the statue bursts into flame, and the air around Dahl also bursts into flame. But don't worry, it's a good flame. It's a shield flame.
I've had a lot of flame this past few seconds.
Oh, he's already got 3 shields, so that won't have any effect on him.
Oh really? You can't stack more.
You can't stack more. No, it's a maximum.
Oh, I did
thing.
not know that. Okay,
So
then
you can put it
I
on-
can put them on
Woad.
What?
Woad.
Woad. I can put them on Woad.
Obviously, my name is Woad.
I'll put them on Woad.
I mean,
then.
come on.
All right, so there.
Has your 3 shields to go on top of your life.
Thank you very
So
much.
You're now well protected.
I
Look
bat
at
away
it.
at the flames because I'm pretty sure they're going to burn my face off, but I don't feel much heat.
Okay. It is now the living statue's turn. Let's see what he's got up his sleeve. Also his life cards. Let me find. Aha. So, he is going to use Charge. He moves up to 2 and then deals 4 damage to a foe in melee, prioritizing further away targets. So he's going to dash across the bridge and go straight at Wode, the Blade Dancer, who's currently far from him, but is now all up in his grill. So that is going to do 4 damage to you.
Ouch.
So it takes off 3 of your 3 shield, and then takes 1 of your life cards away.
1, 2, 3. Flipping a life card over. Ouch.
Okay, that is his move. He's up in your face,
Welcome
and he's
to
like,
those shields.
"This is for what you did
Thank you.
before, flinging me off the cliff." That was you, right? Sorry, memory's hazy when switching bodies.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was someone else.
Oh, damn! I should have gone after someone
Yeah.
else. Thanks, buddy.
No worries.
Next up, we have Dal Shadsong.
All right, cool. Looking at that, what is it? Explosive blast trap bomb thing in the middle there. I think I'm going to use my ultimate actually.
Okay.
It's called Primordial Dominion. Sounds epic actually. But it just requires some thinking. So there's 3 tile effects, and so for each effect on a tile in range 3, I can move it once, then deal 2 damage to foes on those tiles, and also do some extra damage. So what I kind of want to do is I think I want to move this big blast that's in the middle onto our friend here, who's hidden behind the wall.
Fiery Watcher,
I'll
who
start
still
that way.
remains.
The last Fiery Watcher, and so I think I'll do that. Start with that at least. And also I can move my wall if I want. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of happy with it there, but do I have to
Yeah.
move it? Is that-
It's up to you whether you want to move it or not.
Do you think is this all good to do that?
You might want to move it to there to protect him from the blast of the bomb going
Move the
off.
wall. Move the wall. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Because it's in range 1, isn't
Just
it?
say we'll point it in that direction so you can protect your friend,
On the diagonal.
seeing as
So
he's
the-
still within range.
Cool. So
Yeah.
so I've moved the bomb over to the Fiery Watcher and placed the wall in front of the old Chaos Mage to protect him. And so could I actually move this?
You could move that as well, yes.
But there's not really much point.
There's
because-
not much point to
Yeah.
it,
Okay.
yeah, where it
Unless
is.
you want it moved, to prepare for something else. Do you want to move it here?
No, it's good there.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
So
So with all the tile effects moved around,
all right. So I do 2 damage to foes on these tiles. So I do 2 damage to the Fiery Watcher that
Okay.
remains, and I also divide 6 damage as I choose among foes on tile effects. So 6 damage more to him.
Okay.
He's
He's going down.
He's got a lot of pain.
He's got no other statues to go inside of too.
no.
That's right, and he's sitting on a bomb.
He's on his last fiery legs, yes. It is now back to Wode Albar's turn.
Yeah. I didn't really describe
Right.
that, but more plunging hands into rocks and all that kind of stuff, and then shifting the water around.
So you move the ground underneath the explosive
Yeah.
bomb.
Yeah, right.
And you move the ground underneath the
The
wall, and it
Yeah.
all reshapes. And then the ground underneath the explosive blast bursts up
Yeah.
in spikes.
Yeah. I actually didn't draw a card as well, but it doesn't matter because I'm not going to use it.
Yep.
Okay. I'm about to do kind of a tricky maneuver here.
Okay.
Because I don't feel safe on this side of the bridge.
Mm.
So, actually, let me think about this. I think this is still my only option. Despite knowing that the bomb is there, I'm going to charge towards the enemy with the bomb.
Okay.
Now, charge. I choose a foe in range 4, move towards them, then deal 2 damage to all foes in melee. Repeat this until you reach your chosen foe. When you reach them, do another 3 damage to them. So
Okay.
there's a statue in my square. They are in melee range. Do they take that damage?
They won't unless you take a step back
First.
before you make your charge.
Like,
And then you'll be able to dash all the way and you'll be able to slash them all on the way. Sound good?
That harms my chances of escaping the blast radius later.
Ah, I see.
I still think that might be my best play, though. I
Okay.
need to get out of range of the giant stone statue. I am not good at shifting stone around, so I'm a little flimsy here.
Okay.
However, there's also a wall in the way.
no, the wall.
The wall's
The wall-
angled fine?
Yeah,
okay.
you should be alright.
The
You can
wall's
get past
angled
it.
alright. I'm going to charge. Every time I move, I get to move the shadow. So the shadow is darting around the
Boom.
flickering flames of the Fiery Watcher,
Mm-hmm.
causing the shadow to look as if it's skipping around madly. It deals 3 damage.
So as the shadow moves past the fiery watcher, it slashes away at it and destroys it.
Oh my god.
Your shadow manages to take it out, which in turn will destroy its tile effect, causing the bomb to dissipate before it can detonate.
Well, that's convenient.
Super convenient. Awesome.
So Fiery Watcher's dead.
Awesome.
The bomb is gone, and I still move into that square.
So does a ghostly form kind of,
Yes, a ghostly form emerges from the broken torch on the ground and sort of looks around and then sort of shrugs and goes and sits down on the statue's pedestal. It looks like it's now sort of taking the form of an ancient monk, sort of a skeletal monk spirit who now has nothing interesting to possess. And he looks at a rock and is like, I could possess that rock, but that would be pretty boring. So sits back on his pedestal.
Did you damage the living statue?
I have not yet.
Oh yeah.
But I as I moved to the location where the Fiery Watcher was, my shadow darts back towards the bridge.
Mm-hmm. You won't be able to go on the bridge because of the tile there, but you could go on the chasm.
Okay, then the shadow goes in the chasm.
Yep, it's a
in
floating,
the air.
floating shadow, that's fine.
Surreal.
Almost as if not obeying the laws of physics, the shadow moves farther and farther away from the source of the light. And I dart towards the doorway, my final move, where the boy was, and the shadow moves beneath the statue.
Which will do another 3 damage to it, chipping away at it. The statue looks around and says, I still got this. I can still do this. You're not going to get through that door. It is now Alabaster Grey's turn.
Okay.
What's the Chaos Mage going to do? Tough tactical choices
Okay,
here.
I'm going to use Unstoppable What is that?
Arcanistry?
Arcanistry?
It's a word. It's a real word.
This guy didn't go to school.
Let's use Unreadable Arcana.
Yeah, I remember I don't read things, I just do. So that's flip 3 coins. For each heads, deal 2 damage to a foe in range 1. For each tails, do 3 damage to a foe in range 1, and 1 damage to you.
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
Okay, let's do this.
I need a better, flipping area, because I flip real bad. Heads.
That's 3 damage to him and 1 damage to you.
Okay.
Alright, I'm okay with that. Heads.
Ooh.
And that is when you take out his last card, which is a shield, which means he gains 5 shield and draws a card. So almost,
So
guys, almost.
He has no actual life.
Yeah,
left. He is.
he's just barely holding on. His spirit is pretty much holding the.
So what's he actually looking like? There's pretty much
bound together by magic.
Yeah, you've shattered the stone, and they're just barely holding together with the spirit pulling it into one piece. And he gets to draw an extra card.
I got one more.
Yep, go for it.
Tails.
So that's 2 damage, and you did an extra 1 damage. Okay, he's.
Oh, actually, oh no, it's too late. I had a trigger thing that I could use, but
He's barely holding together, but he says, "You will pay for this and for destroying my cool torch and my friend's cool torch." He jumps forward and he uses Sunder, which will deal 3 damage to you, and you
That's right.
and you gain this status, which means you take 1 extra damage from attacks.
That's not right.
Hopefully we kill him before he can do that.
Sunders your defense with his nasty spear. It is now Dalshad Song's turn. Time to end this.
Okay, yeah, well, my what is it? My natural ability, Spire of Stone, lets me discard a card and use my weapon, which I've decided is my big burly hands.
Okay.
And so I discard this card, which actually has an ability when it's in my discard piles. You can't even play it, can you?
No, you can't play it.
This
So
is
you have to use
specifically made for this ability. So I discard a card and do a 4 damage to a foe in range 1.
That is enough to destroy the last of his
Yes.
shields.
And I pull him 1. So I pull his remnant stone onto my feet and crush it under my heel.
Again, the monk's spirit emerges and says, "My vigil is done." And he goes and sits down next to his friend, and so what are we gonna do with no dead bodies?
Oh, man.
He's like, I don't know, man. Let's go somewhere else, and they float off into the distance.
I suggest they haunt Blind Joe. Just for fun.
They snap their fingers. That's a great idea. Let's go mess with him.
Farewell, spirits. Farewell.
Well, on the other side of this door over here, why me?
Hate you, Blind Joe. Get out of here. No one likes you.
You and your damn berries.
So with that, the doorway to the interior of the monastery is unguarded, and you can travel further in. And we'll take a break there.
All right. Yep.
Cool.
People should use the restroom if they want to.
I might do that just in case. Unless you're going now?
I'm going now.
Okay, well, I won't do it. I will wait, in that case. And unless you want to...
Share the
That's a
bowl.
relief.
You seen?
I didn't want to be rude, but
Have you seen those pictures online of like awkward toilets?
I have not.
There's this one where there's a bathroom and there's just two toilets like facing each other.
Why would you ever?
Why is...
You have to be so friendly with them.
I guess
way
it's like
too friendly,
someone's
too
home
friendly.
toilet, right? But still.
I think so. Yeah.
Even then, like, you know what I mean?
I mean that's a little crazy.
How are you supposed to spend time on your phone, ever, if you have to be with someone in the bathroom?
Looking in their face too. Not even like.
Yeah, there needs to at least be a knee-high wall as well. Come on.
You can't see what's happening. Like,
Oh dear. I'll have that visual imagery forever.
Welcome back. It has been literally seconds since you heard us defeat the giant stone statue possessed by a fire elemental. And we have just moved out of that bridgey chamber thing, right? Where are we
That is
now?
correct. So you're now in a long passageway, which looks like it's leading towards... You can see lights at the far end of the corridor.
Okay.
But waiting for you is the small monk child that you sent ahead to act as bait. Or maybe you had something more altruistic in mind. But,
Friends for life, yep.
yeah. But
I want to just take the opportunity to say, hey, buddy, did you hear anything the fire elemental said to us?
he said, "No, I was looking at the murals here."
Okay, good.
Oh yeah.
That's all.
a
Just
good
wondering.
idea.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
These are very thick doors.
No one was
Wait,
going to
no,
throw you in a
why?
chasm.
What
Nothing.
did you say?
No, nothing. Just looking
They
good.
didn't like you. They wanted to hurt you when
Yep.
we let them.
It's true.
But they
Yeah.
let me past. But they seem to not let you guys past.
They wanted to eat your face.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would never have suspected.
It's never the ones you suspect.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for help protecting me.
Very
from,
welcome.
Okay.
I'll be taking half of nothing. Never mind.
So, I think there's something ahead in the room down the corridor.
What makes you say that?
There's noise coming from there. It sounds like growling. I don't want to go any further ahead.
You should probably go on further ahead.
Other half of the cheese bread.
I get down on one knee. Hey, buddy. Hey, little buddy. Now Tossela's bald head.
Tussle is bald.
I got. How'd you like that cheese bread?
It was pretty good. I don't know if it was worth risking my life like that, but it was pretty good.
The other half is even better.
Oh, really?
All you have to do is risk your life for us and go forward.
Can you give me a difficulty 1?
Oh,
you get one chance to charm this
no
kid.
way,
Okay.
There's no way.
I want to give this a shuffle for luck.
Yeah. Does he get an extra coin toss as well?
I know, this is
What's-
just pure charisma. at
What's
this
his
point.
bald head look like? Is it round? Is it angular?
Oh,
Nope.
he,
Intelligence.
he pulls intelligence. He fails.
Oh dear. The child. Actually, that's not oh dear. That's a good thing. What's up wrong with you people? The
Here
child.
first, Rory wants to murder a child.
The child says, I think I'm gonna go back outside where it's safer, probably. I don't want to, that thing, I don't know.
I'm going to stop him and say, hey, is there anything you can tell us about what's on the other side of this door?
I don't know what it is, but I'm pretty sure it did that. And he points over to what looks like the upper torso of a monk that has been severed in half. And the lower half is missing completely. And the monk looks like he was in incredible agony as he died. He says, I'm pretty sure I don't want to go anywhere near that thing, but good luck, guys. And he opens the door and runs, jumps on, dashes under your arm and runs back out into the corridor.
I shout, coward!
Never even learned his name.
He told you. He
Never
introduced us.
We never learned how to pronounce his name.
So you look down the corridor and you can see now that on the walls on either side there is a mural. At the start it looks like it's depicting the monks building this monastery. It looks like there's lots of images of them praying and kneeling and pondering, and there is pictures of the universe and sort of big concepts, big philosophical concepts. But as you travel down the corridor, a figure appears in the murals, this dark, shadowy demon figure, and there it looks like he has a swarm of minions of some kind, and it shows him assaulting the monastery, and then as you travel, more and more of these images of this large demon assaulting the monastery are shown, and every time they're repelled, the demon's repelled in different ways, but every time it shows the spirits of the monks that have been slain and passing on, and as you get closer to the end of the corridor, you see for a second a glimpse of something shadowy and large down the far side of the corridor.
I want to have a look at how they repelled this previously.
It looks like every time they've tried something different, and the time after the demon has bypassed that technique. First it was with martial prowess, and then that failed as the demons became stronger.
Is it the same? Does it look like it's like there's the same demon, or is it just a bunch of demons?
It looks like it might be a shape-changing thing, so it's hard to tell. Like, it has many forms. Sometimes it seems to trick the monks, and sometimes it bribes a foolish monk. And
well, I think we all know what we'd have to do.
I
knock on the door.
I'd like to take a look at that.
It's the one thing
corpse
that works.
first.
okay,
Yeah.
Just
Put your hand in his onions.
yeah, get all up in there. So I just want to use my sort of intellect to figure out any clues of what we might actually be dealing with up ahead, and if I know any way of any weaknesses or something for my magic learning.
can you give me a difficulty 2? 2 chances at getting the intelligence card.
Subterfuge. Intelligence.
You got it.
Well done.
So, you've heard of demons before. You're quite familiar with them, and you know that there are many kinds of demons. All have varying abilities, but there are some things they share in common. They often try and use mortals in their bodies for these things, and it looks like the fact that half of this guy's missing probably means that it has absorbed part of him.
Oh.
And maybe that also explains why there weren't many monk bodies out in the corridor.
I'd also like to loot him.
He has some prayer beads and some thoughts on the meaning of the universe on a little scroll.
Really? I'll take them.
Yeah, they're
Insightful.
for you. They open your eyes a little bit, just because you've had a very sort of straightforward life up to this point.
Yeah.
They make you question yourself just a little bit, but then you're back to burning stuff. Okay.
As prayer beads not...
They don't
No
appear
magical
to be
properties, they're not
magical.
magic.
No.
They're not swift cloth prayer beads.
I'll put them in my hand and I'll burn them then. So
It's just a good dark, but yeah. Oh, well, I guess not really. They were murdering kids before, but okay.
No one murdered a kid. I want to make that clear. No one has murdered any children.
So you're saying that not taking action is not the same as
Is the
taking
kid alive?
Okay.
We gave him bread.
Half a bread.
Yeah.
Gave him half a bread.
It was cheesy.
So as you move, you hear noises down the corridor. You hear growling. Something dangerous is down there. Are you gonna approach carefully, or are you gonna go in, guns, aka fists, blazing?
What do you think, guys? Should we knock?
Definitely don't knock.
I think we knock.
Is there a doorbell?
There is no doorbell.
Okay.
There are large handles which you could use as a knock.
Any way that we could set up an ambush for it?
There might be a way. If you can tempt it out into the corridor that you guys are
And
in.
have the guys on each side or something, and it comes through the door, and then we boom.
It's not a wide corridor, so you'd be kind of in a
Okay.
tight spot, but you could do it, and you may have the upper hand, seeing as you can control the terrain and so on.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
Up for whatever.
Or should we just run in there?
My intelligence is not very high. I'm going to leave this decision up to someone who has more intelligence than me.
Mage, what say you?
All right, I say we lure it out of there, out of
Okay.
that corridor, and into this room that we're in.
Okay, sounds good. Where can you position yourselves on the battlefield here?
Okay,
this
so-
is the door right
so
here.
it's somewhere down here, right?
It's
where
here. This is the room
Okay.
out here that you can't see yet.
Oh,
And
really?
and so you've got a very thin corridor that you're in, and then
Yeah.
it opens up
Oh,
into
okay.
a 3x3 area.
Okay. Sorry, I thought it was the other way around.
Ah, right.
I thought we were in the big room and the door.
No, you're in the
Okay.
thin corridor.
Maybe we fight it in there.
I
then?
want to do a subterfuge check
Yeah.
of the area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will position myself.
Okay,
at
go
the-
ahead.
at
This
the-
is Gordy too.
I want to just make sure that there's nothing sus that we're missing here.
Yep.
Charm and subterfuge.
Nice.
So it doesn't look like there are any traps or anything like that.
Okay.
There are lanterns on the roof that maybe you could sabotage, attach a rope to, and drop on something's head if you're able to.
This is good to know.
They
Bring it
look
out into the corridor.
oil lamps.
Yeah, there are.
They're lit?
Lit oil
That's
lamps.
that's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Okay.
It's like an awful lot of oil. They've been lit for the past couple of weeks, and looks like they'll be lit for much longer. So they're low maintenance
Very
lamps.
I'm gonna chill out
Eco
over here.
right?
I haven't. Probably yak oil. I don't know. Is this important? Is this, your character object to this?
Are they environmentally friendly?
Fire in my
Spiritually friendly. That's
hands.
all that really matters. Okay. So, you wanna? What's the plan? Are you guys gonna pull it out into the corridor? Or are you gonna? Whereabouts?
How large is this shadowy beast?
Is,
It looks pretty big
big
to
and
me.
hulking. It will be able to fit in this
Okay.
room
Are
here.
there
I think
are there lanterns like up here like?
There's a lantern above, just up
Okay.
here.
I'm gonna take aim at the lantern, and I'm ready for it to rush out.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm
Take aim
for
with
moving
my-
into the larger room because I don't think I would fare well in a tight corridor.
Okay.
Okay, so you want to
Burst through.
burst
Yeah?
through?
All right.
Alright. Let's
Okay.
burst through.
Okay.
Right.
You taking the lead?
Yeah,
Zach?
I raise a shoulder, ready to burst through the door.
Okay, so you
Fist is ready.
smash into the room. The door knocked off its hinges,
Yeah.
and ahead of you, it looks like there's blood all over the floor in front of you.
Ooh.
And right in front of you is this massive hulking creature. It looks like it's got the arms and legs of many individuals, young and old. And it turns to you with a gaping maw. It will be represented by me throwing a bunch of Lego figures and attaching them to each other. So we'll let you get one card off.
Okay.
Seeing as you've got the ambush, you've got the upper hand.
So,
you're on
do I
this
draw
card.
three?
Are we drawing our combat cards?
Yes, you can draw 3. Yes, and play one of them as an extra turn.
Oh, wow, okay.
And then I'll roll up the initiative. Okay.
So he's just one.
There's one massive hulking demon.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Just one.
He's got his back turned. He's looking at something in front of him, and as you step into the room, you can see that there is a line of sand just in front of him, and he doesn't seem to be able to cross it. It looks like there were some monks that were cowering on the far side, but they have seemingly died of starvation or lack of water or something like that, being unable to get past this guy.
So it's probably a line that demons can't cross. Or something,
So what would happen if I move him with the power? Could I try and move him over?
You can see what happens.
Yeah. All right. I burst through the door and instantly dig my feet in and plow into the ground as earth blades chop up in front of me. I deal 5 damage to. Oh, I can deal 5 damage to all characters on a tile within range 2 and move them. But we don't move. Just move them one tile. Or
Move them one, yeah.
Okay,
Move
so-
them as if you were taking a move.
Okay, right. So I try. These earth blades kick into him, and I try and move him back over the line of sand. What happens?
So as he hits the line of sand, there's a hissing roar
oh.
as the shadowy mass that was holding the limbs together sort of melts away where it hits the wall. He pulls himself forward, stops himself going through, and it seems to just repel him, but at great cost. So he'll take 4 extra damage for hitting the wall.
Wow.
And how much damage did your thing?
5 damage.
5 damage. Okay.
Sheesh, y'all.
Boom.
The only question is, this is now a tile effect, but where does it land?
On the tile that you
Okay.
cast it on.
Okay, cool.
So there.
Cool.
So what does it say now?
Enemies who move or are moved onto this tile take 3 damage.
Okay. Interesting. So, now he's lost some of his life. He turns around and roars and says, "Who dares try to stop me? I am Karthasarurak, and I shall destroy you."
Wait, what was that name? I'm all the way down the other corridor saying, what was that name again?
Karthasarurak? Look, I didn't name myself.
It's my parents.
He pulls, Shadow pulls in his hands, and he... that should be here, 1 second. And he steps forward and chomps at you with a shadowy maw. He was going to do 2 damage to you, and you apply the status to you. So now you're going to take 3 damage at the end of your turn, if that status is still on
So
you.
it's like, poisonous. Okay.
Poisonous bite,
Yeah.
So some sort of black goo infects the flesh on your arm.
It's not a good way to start.
And does he take damage for having moved off of that
I
square?
think it's only if you
It only moves onto it.
Yeah. Whether by choice or not.
Yeah, so the blades of earth are spiking up behind him.
Right,
but now
gotcha.
this darkness is eating away at your arm. So because that you can only have 1 status on you, if
Yeah.
you are able to get another status somehow, it
Yeah.
will remove the poisonous bite.
Cool.
Next up, we have Alabaster Grey, the Chaos Mage.
I kind of want to try something a little elaborate.
Okay.
I was already moved.
Now you're saying that there's an oil like lamp up here, right? Can I use some like telekinesis magic to pull that down and fling it towards that monster?
Sounds reasonable. That'll be a 3 chances at an intelligence check.
Alright.
Let's go for it. Come on, intellect.
Yes.
You got it in 1. So you pick would you want to describe what it looks like?
I raise my hand out at this lantern, and it rips down from its
Sconce or whatever.
yeah it's
Rope.
in the wall, and I just push it forward, and like a bullet, it flies forward and smashes into
Karthasaruak.
What I'm hoping it will burst and completely set him on fire, and because it's oil, I'm hoping it will continue burning.
It certainly does. It bursts into flame, dealing 5 fire damage to him, and actually 6 fire damage, and the more and more limbs pour off his body as
That's
the
good. Nice.
a monk's head rolls off and almost hits you as it's
Kick it aside.
detached from the demon's fleshy body. He roars in pain, but his body swirls for a moment and it extinguishes the flames before he can be burnt further. Are you going to move as well, or that will be your turn?
So that was
up?
my. I won't move. I'm okay where I am.
Okay. Next up, we have Dalshadson, the Earth... Wait.
Nope.
No, Blade
Woad.
Dancer. Sorry, we've got Woad Albar,
Yes,
the Blade Dancer.
that's me.
Because you move forward in the
That's
initiative.
right.
Thanks to your
My
armor.
swift cloth shifted me forward. Okay. So, I need to get in melee range. I'm currently a couple spaces away. So I'm going to take one move forward.
Okay.
And I look at that sand barrier, and I look at those earth blades, and I look at how much danger Dowell is in, and I think I can do some stuff here.
Okay.
I fling out my right arm, and with it go 2 hooked chains. Each one latches onto Dowell, one latches onto this massive hulking behemoth, and I whip my arm up and down, and I shift Dowell diagonally forward 1,
Yeah.
Okay.
and the big hulking behemoth thing directly back onto the earth blades.
Okay.
Just still.
Hooked chains deals 4 damage,
1, 2, 3, 4.
and
Yep.
the earth blades deal another 3.
So as you strike at him, more of the black goo pours off him, and the blades slash away, and some of it lands on some of the limbs that are strewn about, and starts to pull them together.
Uh-oh.
And the destroyed monks are pulled together, and that with one stray arm, the demon points at you and commands the limbs to move in and attack you. And so
Ruh-roh.
a cluster of limbs starts shambling towards you. And that is the new card that's flipped up,
Ooh.
the Corrupted Monks.
Yuck.
Okay, it is... That will be your turn up?
Yep, that's my turn.
It is now Dalshadsong, the Earthquakers.
Do we represent these?
Oh yes, there's some severed legs.
Okay,
that can
cool.
be the monks.
It's a boy. It's monks. All right. So I draw a card. Oh, good. Perfect. I am going to deal 2 damage to. Actually, you know what? I'm going to move back. Just because it, it worked. It worked well. But I take a step back and I kind of shiver as my skin kind of seems to almost harden and ripple for a second as I use Skin of Stone. Deal 2 damage. As I do 2 damage to both of these
That is correct.
creatures, and then apply the status to me. So as I ripple and shake with this kind of earthen energy, it sends out a shockwave.
Mhm.
And that goes over the poisonous bite, doesn't it? So my
Yes.
poison disappears as my skin
Okay.
turns to stone.
Awesome.
Um,
The poison is removed.
Cool, and that's me.
Okay. After you, the Corrupted Monks make their move. So they are going to shamble towards you, crawling on all 8, 9, however many limbs they seem to have. And they're going to move up to you, up to Dalshadsong, and are going to slash away at you with their weird arms. That'll be 2 damage to you.
Sweet. Oh, well, I just gained shield 2 at the end of my turn, right? Because of the status, so they instantly disappears.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yep. So your shields protect you as
Yep.
your stone skin.
Yep.
As their arms shatter off
Yeah,
your
yeah,
stone
yeah.
skin. And that'll be all they can do. So now it is back to Catharzarak, who growls in anger, and let's see what he's got up his
Wish he
sleeve.
had a better name.
He it fires a bolt of acid from
Whoa.
his mouth, this black, nasty goo that lands underneath our good friend Woad Albar, dealing
No!
3 damage to him.
No!
Whoa,
Ouch.
no, not
Oh.
you!
Instant.
But my evasive roll kicks in. When drawn, move twice and ignore the rest of the damage from the attack.
Oh, very cool.
Awesome.
So I evade that. I'm gonna
Yeah.
move here.
Okay.
Brilliant.
The ground boils with acid now, so anyone who moves onto that tile or ends their turn there will be taking 3 damage.
Oh,
or
great.
maybe it's just end of their turn. So if you
Oh,
end your
okay.
turn on that tile, you'll be boiled by acid
what to
in
do.
the most pleasant way. Okay, next up we have...
That's the grey.
Yeah,
That's great. So here is the line, right? Where
that is the line of sound,
Okay.
yes.
Were you saying that if I don't take an action, I can move twice?
That is
the thing?
correct, yes.
Okay, I want to move twice then.
Okay.
Oh,
Whereabouts?
yeah.
Two.
Actually, yeah, they are.
So you're going to be chasing after Woad?
Yep.
Okay, so the three of you are all surrounding him on different tiles at the moment while he's on the earthen blades.
Yeah.
Okay. That will be your turn up. Next up, we have Woad Albar, the Blade Dancer.
I'm staring at this line in the sand. And I'm wondering,
Go across it, it'll be safe.
the deal.
That's what I'm going for.
Okay. Well,
Because I can just stand there and just
In that
shoot
case.
from behind the safety of this wall.
I'm going to take a step this way. And I look around. And
Cautiously wait for a trap to be
I
triggered.
grin. And then I start laughing. You fools!
Oh,
I wasn't Woad.
what?
I am Sothatep. I've inhabited Woad's body. And I've
You-
carried you all
you're
the way
kidding,
here.
You're kidding.
Nope. You fools! You've brought me within arm's reach of the ultimate power! And I'm going to use my agile maneuver to deal 4 damage to the giant hulking demon
Uh-huh.
and shift it directly onto the square with Dal Shard Song and move myself 1 square further away. And I do this by just jumping and kicking.
Awesome.
Yeah. Just kicking myself.
That's your turn up.
That's
then,
my
I
turn.
take It is now Del Shadsong's turn.
Okay, sweet. I'm like, well, I don't know what I was waiting for. And I take 2 steps forward.
Yeah.
And I ripple all over again and I say, I don't know who the real fool is here, but I am Pazarax. And this lowly stone form man has taken me this far. You fools have been fools to be so foolish around us fools.
There's so many fools at the moment. What's going on? Sothatep is confused.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so I see this happening, and I stand there and say, "Guys, what a twist!" And I use my move behind the line and say, "I'm a demon as well, guys!" And I rip
What's
my
up,
face
guys?
off like a mask, and there's a horrible creature underneath. And I say, "Guys, oh, what
so much cooler than me.
Ah.
I thought you looked familiar.
You know that fire I was talking about?
Yes.
That was this mortal summoned me and I took over his body.
Forrest, that sounded familiar to me.
Classic.
I was there, in fact.
Oh, that was you? That was me. Oh, this whole time.
So the Kazarak's like, wait, you guys were demons? Can you let me pass the sand line? I won't kill you, I
Now let's
promise.
wreck this guy.
Nah.
You're just gonna ignore him.
Just gonna.
He's just a lesser.
Yeah.
So standing right here is the circle of candles and so on. Rather, it's sort of monkish circle, which looks like that might be the thing that he was trying to get to. So it's up to you three, demon buds.
Oh man, what a hilarious turn of events.
So I'll just pause for a moment and explain to the audience that I went to each of these guys individually and told them in secret
dear.
that they were actually the demon backstabber and that they were going to betray the party.
Oh, that's amazing.
But it turns out they're all demons. And now they're all friends again.
What a relief.
I was getting real worried there. I almost wondered whether we should be killing this guy when we're going straight for the line in the sand.
So whose turn is it now?
That was Kazo Tharak's turn. He was annoyed that he couldn't get through this wall. So it's back to Alabaster Grey, the Chaos Mage.
So that's the candle thing.
That's
Real
the
name,
candle thing.
something
Yeah,
else.
you're just standing
Alright,
outside.
so I might as well just like walk onto it because that's where I want to get, right?
Okay, so as you take a step through the portal, it seems that nothing changes. You're in this circle of candles, but when you turn back to look at the others, when you turn around, you instead see hundreds of waterfalls and blazing suns in the skies above. Looks like thousands upon thousands of lanterns stretch in every direction as floating pathways path through the night into what looks like a place made of pillars, and there are thousands of scrolls all over the place. But as your foot touches the ground, it turns the ground black, and the candles around you start bursting into flames.
Awesome.
And to become great torches. You two follow behind him,
Cool.
and this world starts to cripple and crumble under the weight of these three demonic entities.
I'd say nice touch burning them prayer beads.
And so, as you look out into the
Rabbits.
slowly corrupting world of the world of wisdom, and you think to yourselves that you could definitely make this into a wonderful home. And the three of you, as your best demon friends together,
Yeah.
there's
Start
nothing you can't
best friends, best friends, best friends.
And as you do, the world around you begins to burst into flames.
Oh, we
the
did it!
waterfalls start to
Yay!
turn up.
We destroyed the
The end.
Good job, guys.
That was a hell of a twist. Like I did.
We're all demons.
Oh, man.
That was awesome.
When I saw Nick
dick
getting so
move.
excited.
I was so excited. I was like, yay! I'm a demon!
Didn't know how surprised I was supposed to act. I was like, wait, oh. Oh, man. Brilliant.
Lovely.
Brilliant.
Lovely.
That was a brief example of Seven Gates, right?
Yes, there are some mechanics that we didn't get into, like the experience and
Yep.
leveling up and
Yep.
building your character.
Right. For example, like the decks that we were using are in theory customizable, right?
Yes,
At
yes.
at various level ups, you get more cards to add in.
You get to choose from a few different choices.
Right.
And also, at the start of the game, before the game starts, you could get two different classes and combine their cards that work together. Yeah, yeah.
And when do you think? Are you planning to go public with this?
Yeah, I'll probably take it to publishers when it's ready,
Yeah.
I think. Which it's getting close, but yeah, I might get some art commissioned for it, and then yeah, probably play
Exciting.
play a few more games. We might have more of these once it gets further
Yeah, this
down
is-
the line.
This is very cool. Like I'd be super keen to play this regularly at at work or wherever.
Hopefully, yeah.
And
yeah.
the inspiration was basically you wanted to, unless I'm misunderstanding what you told me many months ago. You wanted us to basically make Dungeons and Dragons more accessible and require less of a sort of setup time.
Yeah, that was sort of an accidental result of. I just wanted to make a magic, like Dungeons and Dragons with magic cards, sort of thing. But it turned out that it was a lot simpler than classic dice rolling D&D. Most of the rules are on the cards rather than having to look them up. So
Right.
It worked out pretty well.
Yeah,
so
I
it's much
found-
more straightforward.
I've played a little bit of D&D, and I've now played this, and I find combat in this is much more engaging than combat in D&D, where I, for example, have to go through my character sheet and go, okay, this is my daily power, this is my, I can use this once per combat, I have to keep track of my location, and if I roll the dice and fail, that just feels bad, right? Or if I don't fail, if I get bad damage rolls, it feels bad. Whereas this removes a lot of that. It feels much more tactical.
I tried to keep that in a way, in that you have your ultimate card in your
Yep.
deck. If you draw that, that's like rolling a 20 on
Yeah.
a dice.
I like that.
And you have some weaker cards in there, some tier 1 cards and some tier 2 cards. When you're building your deck, you have to have a combination of the weaker and the stronger cards.
Yep.
But even the weaker cards have tactical advantages at times.
And you're always doing something with them, you know what I mean? You're not
Yeah.
just rolling a 1 and literally just standing there, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And I know, so our listeners can't see it, but the way the board is set out as tiles, I know that one thing you'd like to do is some of these tiles are traps.
Yes.
And they are triggered when you move on them, and you flip them over as, in fact, every single thing could start, as you've done, I believe, in previous encounters, everything starts face down.
Yes,
And every time you move, you flip the card over, and it could be a trap.
And you could have it. You could shuffle it as the DM. You could shuffle it, and
Right.
even you don't know where the traps are, or
Exactly.
you could place them carefully and have the monsters be aware of what's coming.
Mm-hmm. Which is a really cool feature. I very much enjoyed this.
Yay!
Yeah, it was great.
I'm
I liked
glad
it.
you did.
Great game.
Hope you
And-
did, listeners.
If you guys out there want to hear more about it or have any questions about it, email us at frontseatquestions@gmail.com.
Yep, you got it.
You can hit us up on Facebook, Front Seat Gamer,
Oh my
facebook.com/frontseatgamer.
No,
No?
front seat cast.
Front Seat Cast, whatever. Man, I don't have my notes.
You don't have the notes. It's only
Front
been
Seat
like 29 episodes.
Twitter.com/Front Seat something.
Front seat cast.
Sure,
Twitter.
Front Seat Cast. Is it Front Seat Cast, Front Seat Gamer? I don't know. Anyway.
Facebook is front seat cast.
You know what? Go listen to a previous
Twitter is
episode.
Front Seat
Tell me what I said then. Tweet at us what I said then. Then I'll know to say it now. I'd like to thank Rory for coming along, bringing his game. I'd like to thank Isaac for playing with us.
My pleasure.
I'd like to thank Blake for just,
Letting you use my apartment.
making me
right.
a cup of coffee,
Oh yeah, I did.
doing all the recordings.
Yep.
I'd like to thank me for just
Being wonderful.
Being
Hanging
the,
out.
the first demon.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, being the first.
being
Yeah.
the first demon.
That was actually a hell of a twist.
Yeah.
Like.
It was.
And if you'd like to, we'll be back in a couple weeks with a real episode where Rory isn't here. Isaac, maybe. We'll see. And we'll see you then.
Yeah.
Bye.
Farewell.
Yep.
I got a cool hammer.
I think it's cool to use Lego figures, eh?
Yeah,
Like
Rory's got a bunch of stuff as well, so he like customize them to the days. Yeah.
Alabaster looks so grumpy.
I like the flame hands. It's so cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. This isn't intentional.
Oh, man. Woad just looks like he's pooping.